Good morning, everyone. It is April 27th, 2019, and I am here today to talk to you about the Right to Life on Your Own Terms Act. This act that we're putting to the legislative is very similar to the act in Oregon, except it's got a couple more safeguards put into place that I feel are very necessary for people to have the right to die on their own terms. One of the new safeguards that is put into place is that you must be 21 years or older. This came up after some research and doing the history behind a person's brain development and when they are mature enough to make decisions on the part that's just not the emotional level, but it's also the cognitive thinking level. So, another part of the proposal is that we are going to ask that you get two witnesses that are not friends and not families to sign a letter saying that you are competent to do this, that you've thought about this, that you have taken the time to help people to understand why you want to do this. The two people that are signing this paper for you or this letter will have absolutely nothing to do with your assets or your liabilities in your life. All the rest of the safeguards that are put into place are similar to the ones in Oregon and Washington. So it's very good for a person who has no other way except to go into palliative care. And that leads us to the first question that I am answering for you today to defend this. Would you still support your proposal if palliative care advanced to the point where pain is no longer an issue for those diagnosed with a terminal illness? And my answer to this is yes. As you read in the proposal, it's just not about pain. The subject that we used, Ray, was not just about pain. Ray also, after 2 horrible rounds of chemo, had a blood disorder that he would bleed constantly out of all of his orifices. He also lost fully function of his lower half of his extremities. So you can see this is not just about pain. This is about suffering all around. This is about someone who loses all of their abilities to be able to function like they used to be able to function, and they can't take it. They do not know how to live, and they don't have the ability to do things for themselves. And many of these people have taken care of themselves for their whole life. They haven't had other people to help them take care of them. Even with people helping them take care of them, they have to have this choice for themselves. This is not anybody else's decision. This is their decision. No one is forcing them to do this. No one made this decision for them. This is their decision. The second question, would your proposal require physicians who are not comfortable prescribing aid in dying drugs to refer patients to other doctors who write prescriptions? My answer to this is no. We would never require a physician to do something he is not comfortable in doing. If a person who wanted to get the right to life dying drugs and the help from a physician went to a physician in their home state where it was legal, and the physician was not comfortable, the patient needs to walk out of the office and go find another physician on their own terms that is willing to help them. We would never force a doctor to perform something like this. It is not their responsibility. Like I said, this whole act is about their own terms. We do not have the right to make a decision about one person's decisions when it comes to their body and their decision. The final question, do you think there are dangers in allowing patients to have aid in dying drugs in their homes? For example, could a family member give the drugs to the patients without the patient's consent? I don't think this is an issue. I think that when people are requesting the aid of dying drugs, especially in this case, that they're requesting them because they have had it, they have tried all of the resources, like our subject Ray. who went through rounds and rounds of chemo and kept trying to fight, went into hospice, did everything he could to stay alive, and just couldn't take it anymore. I don't think it's an issue to give someone the aid of dying drugs and send them home. It's like telling someone, I'm sorry, we can't give you the aid of dying drugs. You need to go home and suffer with no function in your body, not being able to do anything for yourself, including using the restroom. And during the research, hospice showed that 86% of the people that enter hospice are there because they have no family. So that is a wonderful, wonderful situation. But the 14% that are at home with their families, no one's going to give them the drugs. And if they do, they're giving them with their consent. This is not an issue. This whole act was about giving the patient the right to end their life on their terms. This is not about anybody's life or liberty. This is about one person, a person being able to choose for themselves. Thank you for your time.